Here is a selection of photos of mobsters behind bars. Let's check it out. Welcome to OC Shorts, bringing you detailed historical snapshots of the American Mafia and other organised crime. Feel free to subscribe if you like that sort of thing. Let's start off by looking at this photo of some mob heavyweights from different crime families spending time together in prison. In this image, from left to right, we have former Columbo family underboss Gerry Langella. He is stood next to Jimmy Coonan, the greatly feared leader of the Westies. Next to Coonan is former high-ranking Gambino crime family mobster Frankie Locascio. And finally, on the far right, Lucchese family soldier and former member of Roy DeMeo's crew, Joey Testa. Both Gerry Langella and Frank Locascio died behind bars. Jimmy Coonan is still in prison serving a 75-year sentence. His legal team have been fighting to get him released on parole, so far with no luck. However, if reports are to be believed, Joey Testa, a mobster convicted of multiple murders, is allegedly to be released on parole later this year. Sticking with Jimmy Coonan from the Westies, here he is again on the left-hand side of this photo, stood next to Columbo family mobster Ilario Fat Larry Sessa. Jimmy Coonan was once involved in the murder and dismembering of Ruby Steen, one of the largest loan sharks in New York. Ilario Fat Larry Sessa was involved with the Columbo family from a young age, and by the age of 21 was hanging out at Greg Scarpa's Wimpy Boys social club. Sources indicate that Larry Sessa was inducted into the Columbo crime family in 2011, at around the age of 45. In this next photo we have vicious Bonanno crime family gangster Thomas Tommy Karate Patera on the left, and sat next to him is former Columbo family underboss John Jackie DeRoss. Tommy Patera was inducted into the Bonanno crime family in around 1986 and served in the crew of Bonanno family captain Frank Lino. In 1992, Tommy Patera was sentenced to life in prison for drug charges and his involvement in 6 murders. John Jackie DeRoss was inducted into the Columbo crime family in the late 1970s at around the age of 42. In 2007, whilst already in prison since 2004 on a racketeering conviction, Jackie DeRoss was sentenced to life in prison for ordering the murder of William Wild Bill Cutolo. In the middle of this prison photo is Carmine Jr. Persico, the former longtime boss of the Columbo crime family. Carmine Persico died behind bars, while serving a sentence of over 100 years after being convicted in both the famous commission case and the Columbo family's Star Quest trial. In this photo, Carmine Persico is being visited by his brother, Theodore Teddy Persico on the left, who had for a period served as a Columbo family captain. And on the right-hand side is Carmine Persico's son Michael. Michael Persico was often labelled the good son because he was a successful businessman. However, he is also considered a powerful Columbo family associate, and in 2017 was sentenced to 5 years in prison for loan sharking. The next image has a collection of mafia heavyweights from several crime families. On the far left is Anthony Fat Andy Ricciano. He was a long-time member of the Gambino family, who was inducted into the Mafia by Albert Anastasia in 1953. Next to Fat Andy is Federico Fritzi Giovanelli. Giovanelli was allegedly a captain in the Genovese crime family, who was once charged with the 1986 murder of an undercover police officer. Sat down in the centre of the photo is Gambino crime family mobster Lenny Di Maria. Di Maria started his mob career as an associate in Fat Andy Ricciano's crew, before being officially inducted in 1977. Standing on the far right of the photo is Columbo family mobster John Sonny Francis. Francis was evidently serving one of his many stretches inside for parole violations. In this prison photo we have Gambino family mobster Oreste Ernie Boy Abamonte. In his early career, Abamonte was linked to the massive drug operation on Pleasant Avenue in East Harlem. In the centre of the photo is Nicodemo Nicky Slick DiPietro. Nicky Slick is a Philadelphia gangster who is associated with Philly's 10th and Oregon crew. The 10th and Oregon crew operated independently from Cosa Nostra in Philadelphia. In the early 2000s, Nicky Slick was sentenced to life imprisonment for first-degree murder. On the right-hand side of the photo is Gambino family mobster John Carniglia. Carniglia famously being the man who allegedly shot family boss Paul Castellano to death in 1985. Carniglia received a 50-year sentence for drug offences in the late 1980s and was released in 2018 after serving nearly 30 years in prison. In this 2013 photo taken in Raybrook Prison, we have on the left Charles Chucky Luisi, a criminal allegedly connected with the Genovese crime family. Stood in the centre is Gambino mobster Alphonse Trucchio. Trucchio was a mob prodigy who was allegedly inducted into the Gambino crime family when he was around either 23 or 24 years of age. He would later become a captain, but was allegedly shelved by the family whilst in prison. His current status in the family is up for debate, with some sources believing that Alphonse Trucchio has been reinstated, but this is pure speculation. On the right hand side of the photo is hip-hop artist Ja Rule, who was serving a 52-month sentence for gun charges and tax evasion. Crouching at the bottom of the photo is Ronald Spig Nice Blackwell, a member of the Queens-based rap group The Lost Boys. In 2004, he was sentenced to 37 years in prison for a bank robbery spree. And here is a famous photo of Bonanno crime family mobster Dominic Sonny Black Napolitano in prison with John Gotti. At the time of this photo, both men were still associates of their respective crime families. Sonny Black would be inducted into the Bonanno crime family in early 1976, and John Gotti was inducted into the Gambino crime family in October 1977. Sonny Black would eventually become a captain and was then shot to death in 1981. John Gotti, as you are all well aware, would go on to become boss of the Gambino crime family and then eventually died in prison in 2002. I hope you found that interesting. Thanks for watching.